Hey, this is April, and this show, SetSet Show, discusses cannabis, psychedelics, and altered states of consciousness generally. It's intended for audiences 21 and over. Also, I am not a medical expert. If you are looking to engage with psychedelic substances, please consult your physician before doing so. Welcome back. I'm April Pride, your host of SetSet Show, a resource for everyone curious to safely explore the use of cannabis and psychedelics for their clinically proven therapeutic potential and beyond. If you like what we share on the show, please rate and review us wherever you listen to podcasts. Today, we're continuing our conversation with Satya, a leader in integrating science and spirituality for profound healing. In part 2, we explore the transformative power of natural psychedelics to heal trauma, build trust, and foster a deeper sense of connection and community. In this episode, we dive into the unique challenges women face in cultivating trust and the ways survival instincts and trauma shape our relationships. Satya shares insights on how natural psychedelics can break down barriers to love, unity, and cooperation while providing therapeutic support for trauma, addiction, and mental health challenges. We'll also discuss the crucial steps of integration after a retreat, the importance of community support, and the need for responsible, educated facilitation of these substances within a legal framework. Whether you're curious about the intersection of shamanic traditions and modern therapy or seeking inspiration to strengthen your own connections, this episode offers valuable perspectives on healing and human connection. And for our Seattle listeners, join me live for our next Psychedelic Salon on Monday, April 7th, 2020 at 7:30 p.m. at Town Hall, Seattle, where we explore psychedelics in women, understanding the relationship between psychedelics and female hormones. During the 75-minute salon, we'll dive into how psychedelics might address health challenges unique to women like menopause, autoimmune disorders, and reproductive-related depression and anxiety. We'll also unpack the latest research on how hormonal cycles can influence psychedelic experiences and treatment outcomes. Whether you're curious about using psychedelics to support your well-being or want to better understand their potential in women's health, this conversation will offer science-backed insights and compassionate perspectives. Seats are limited, so grab yours now at townhallseattle.org for Monday, April 7th at 7:30 p.m. Let's reimagine women's health together. Keep listening as Satya and I explore how natural psychedelics and intentional practices can unlock new possibility for unity, growth, and authentic living.
It's really important. The trust in other women. Women say that we are really close, but honestly, what I perceive all these years with such a big number of clients is not true. It's not true. We really don't trust. And this takes me to another place that we don't trust each other, not only women, but as men and women, honestly. There's the instinct of protecting myself. And it's a trauma that is so big still. I need to survive. I need my family to survive. We are afraid that if we open up, if we connect with more people, we will not survive. We will not have enough.
What do you mean we will not have enough?
That we don't have enough recognition because some will shine more than me because they have more inner resources, because they know how to speak or they know how to present. So there's an instinctual fight for survival. And I believe that our true essence is the opposite. It's not competition, it's cooperation. It's how we have been surviving beyond the fear of not having enough food, resources, recognition, place to live, a place to belong, a belonging in the community. And I want to bring natural psychedelics or any psychedelics, but natural psychedelics is my field. How I see them going through the personality structure and to open up beyond the survival mode into the unity, into oneness. People that they go through therapy for, I don't know, years and years.
I keep hearing 10 years of therapy in one session over and
Yes.
over again.
And they feel love, maybe for the first time. They feel the most mystical experience. They feel connected. They feel that they are one. We are healing. We are not healing that person. We are healing all the information that person carries in her body, in her DNA, in her emotional system, in her mental system, and synapses, because it's created totally new roads of synapses. So for me, we are healing the entire humanity, the entire human species, to remember cooperation and that we belong, that we are. I'm not I alone. I means all. So for me, when we work with women and when many women, sexual abuse or trauma or addictions, we are working on the personality level, so we become a little bit more aware about the patterns that we carry, and we can own the story, and we can live in the personality structure a little bit more open, a little bit more safe in ourselves, in trust that we can go beyond the family's condition and the social condition. But with the psychedelics, we have the opportunity to have a true awaken, because we are under this dream or illusion, and we can have a totally different vision for what we really are. And I believe that will change even economics. And of course, now all the psychedelics are under the economic system, but maybe people that don't even take it, they don't even work on themselves. It's just another product to sell. But I'm speaking, if we do a true work in ourselves, and if we bring all this to our daily life, because that is where the transformation happens. It's not only in the sessions. Even if you take 100 times, you see there, and then you need to apply every day in your family, the way you communicate, the way you stand for yourself, the way you speak with people, the way you treat yourself. That is a transformation. And of course, by that, you will change what we call the system. But we are the system. We are not separated from the system. I'm responsible.
Totally.
I'm afraid, or I'm against the system. I'm criticizing. But where are the solutions? So with these psychedelics, that for me, it's a key from mystery of life, nature, God, whatever you want to call. If it's well used to expand our consciousness, we can step by step change. We write books, we come to podcasts, we say everything in a very inspirational way. But to really change is in our daily life. And in daily life, we have matter, we have this time, we have density, we have the pattern, we have the relation, the wounds opening up, the condition. But with that, we have an opportunity.
I went to a self-help retreat last year. It's the first time I'd ever done it. And I was really struck by the fear that people had about being able to take this awakening, these learnings, and change their life. And I continue to watch how there's a little bit of communication and there's a lot of support, and there's less fear the more people tap into their community, right? As we were leaving, people were being very honest about how they were feeling about going home. And then over the last year, as people have kept in touch with each other, it's just a knowing that there's someone that had this shared life experience that they can say, oh, I'm feeling this way. And they'll get like 20 texts of, yeah, me too. Just community is so important. So how do people that have these experiences when they're working with Satya, how do you continue to support their integration after they leave the retreat? Because that is, as you just said, critical.
Yes.
For all of the work that we're doing.
With psychedelics and without psychedelics.
Both, yes.
So we always have online meetings for each retreat. So we can integrate, at least during 3 months, the experience that they are having, and we support them. They have homework that they do, from meditation to journaling, to have one-on-one meetings with their buddy, with individual sessions. And then we have a lot of events that people can come totally for free online and live, where we are not in the depth of the work, but we can go on with the relations that they met in authentic and safe space, where our connection, our communication goes directly into that depth of being who you are, sharing in authentic way what you are feeling without being afraid of criticism and judgment, because we are on the same field together. We are looking for be authentic. We are looking to support each other. So we have a strong base of holding people in that sense online, what we call heart meetings, that we all come on online totally for free. And then we invite people in families, they can share. And many of them, we have a lot of couples having kids inside. So they meet here and they fall in love. Of course, we have rules, ethic codes that clients, participants, they can't meet before 1 month after the retreat. So because sometimes we feel a lot. It's so beautiful to see a person open up. But when we go home, all our contractions come out or patterns. So we need time to open up and then contract again, and then to integrate the work. And then we have all this ethic code between teams and participants, facilitators. But we hold them in this work, that individual sessions, group sessions, family sessions, and then free events online and live. So the community can go on, and they can always come as team members to the retreats that they already did. So they are in the space without really jumping again to the structure of the work. They can support others to do. And honestly, it's beautiful. And that's why people come. Sometimes it's just to be there together in that space.
Yeah, it's very hard to find. Right. Or energy that you connect with. Right?
Yeah. But it's growing.
Actually, I do have one last question, and it's one of the questions provided to you, which is, I live in Seattle, which is North America's largest decriminalized city. And there's a man that lives here in my colleges. His name is Paul Stamets. Yes. I did see him speak at a psychedelic conference in September of 2022. And earlier last year in 2022, I had started a psilocybin company underground. I was just being asked as a person that had a podcast where people could buy mushrooms. Honestly, they didn't want to download a Signal app and just have a different type of clientele. I was very curious about it. When I saw him speak, the thing that he stressed the most is, I know everyone is very excited to be a part of this. We're all inspired, but you have to do this legally. This is how we have to do this now. It goes to your point of just trying to sell things, right? This is bigger than that. We're not just trying to turn this into something to make money. And I knew that. I had worked in the cannabis industry, so I understood exactly what he meant and why it could be dangerous. I really have spent over 2 years trying to, or I guess I've spent 4 years trying to do this in a different way than was done in cannabis. It's been way too quick. Mm-hmm. And so Paul is one of our elders, I would say. And so I think he is wise. I've spent since September, it really has all come together in the last couple of weeks, figuring out how to work within Seattle's decriminalized framework so people can get medicine they can trust. Comes with education. I'm not shipping something out to you. You're coming here and you're picking it up after you've downloaded something from a website that's educational based. And then you get to come and pick up your medicine and you can ask questions. So I'm trying to be responsible in how I work within this, because we're decriminalizing it, but we're not teaching people how to use it. I've been shocked. I had no idea how little information or like community there was for people to really be a part of what's happening with psilocybin. There's all this interest, but there's no real support in a way that is going to help people have optimal experiences or do it within a healing circle or with professionals. And so my question to you is, how do we help people do this responsibly? Because people are doing it on their own, right? And they're doing it with friends. 75% of people that trip do it with friends alone. They're not doing it with facilitators. I see it like anything else. There will be people that graduate to working with Satya. There will be people, but there's an entry level here that people could get really hurt. We could lose people. A lot of things can happen before they graduate. How would you advise both people like me who are trying to work in this space, also consumers who are trying to figure it out?
It's a very important question. And for me, I can only say what I believe. First of all, where I come from, to be a server of medicine would be not something that you would choose, or the community, or your teacher, or the plant itself would choose you. Now it's the opposite. Everyone wants to become. So I'm of the opinion that we need to teach people. It's better to teach them, even if I come from a totally different reality.
May I interrupt you for a second? So if the medicine chooses you, or you come from a place where the medicine chooses you, what do people need to feel into to know that for themselves? Because if that's the way to do it, then that's first teaching we should.
The medicine choose you. Normally, a person that would be the true shaman doesn't want to be. No. Because they know the responsibility and what is needed to really be there holding the space. I know that in our time, many times people say, we are the healers and we have the power to heal ourselves. It's true. But we need to understand that we have so many layers of condition, ego, personality structure that will create illusions because the mind wants to be right. We want to fulfill the story that we believe. And I believe that to be a surgeon or a lawyer, you need to learn. You need to be guided because you will not be ready to deal with everything, even if you are highly intelligent. Maybe 1 or 2 cases or 10, 1%. So in my opinion, we are in a time that because it's so available, we need to teach people. We need to teach therapeutical part and the shamanic part. I don't believe in doctors or psychiatrists or psychologists giving medicine without being experiencing. So because they will not be able even to understand how they breathe in front of that person with their perception totally expanded. If we really want to help people, we need to teach psychologists, facilitators, coaches, whatever, because I don't believe it should be on the hands of only psychiatrists. It should not be, but we need to teach people how to first to do their own process and to hold themselves in situations. For example, to be a shaman, we need to take medicine alone for a long time in quantities that would take totally the ground. And we need to know how to come back home again. This is not happening. So you are being served in a clinic with a blindfold and music by a person that most of the times doesn't know what you are going through, not even by just connecting. There's very sensitive people that they can feel fantastic, but most of it, they are not. And this is one of my roles in the jungle. We have a reservation in Peru where we are protecting the land, the plants, the water, the air, the animals, and the ancient traditions. One of my roles in that reservation now is to teach the young generation of shamans of the jungle psychotherapy. We are receiving normal people that they are not even ready sometimes to see certain kind of things and to experience. They need to know how to read them, how to prepare them, and then how to do the integration. I believe that legalization needs to contemplate education and preparation of the facilitators.
Absolutely.
Before legalizing, I believe that we should think to look to that and say, how do we educate these people? And then there's this part that is true that it is not only for healing. There's a part that you can take psychedelics to connect and to expand. But in a true ceremonial session, you have everything. Collectively, the ceremonies are full of joy and music, but there's the big part that is healing. So this part of connection, healing emotions in a softer way, there's space for that, but without any limits. In what cost? Because maybe for you to make love with psychedelics will be okay, but maybe for another person, you would be abusing their limits. So what are the standards? Because what is happening out there when they don't have any help, any guidelines, we are allowing people to traumatize themselves even more.
I know, that's why I asked the question, right? So I'm doing everything I can to listen to people that have been working longer than I have, but I'm also trying to serve a need and meet,
of course,
the public.
So we need to go out there.
Often, yeah. So we're like, okay, wait, I see you. And you should download this piece of paper. There's some steps here that could be helpful when you decide to take this mind-altering stuff. It's really wild that this has been happening without instructions for so long.
I believe that, for example, the festivals, that is a community of people that it's a container, even if there's a lot of risks, but it's a bigger container because everyone is going there. So their openness to help others that maybe they are in a hard place, it's bigger than just friends or kids. Let's go to kids, because adults, but kids go and take everything in the streets, in dark corners, because they want to experience. So what I believe is, first of all, to have a mass education, because if they can read, at least they will have more information. I know that everyone's talk about setting, preparation, setting, integration. Yes, but we need to be even more clear and to have more information out there, so people understand that one thing is to have a thing with friends that can be very healing, but can be very harmful too. So they choose with what kind of friends, in what places, at least. And if they need help, how can I help a friend that is in a hard place? Or who can I call if something is happening and I don't want to call the police? That is the first instinct that everyone, police help me. So how can we do this? Yes, but then look to the numbers and what happened to the kids. Let's be real. I believe in that, but in a certain container.
Right.
And then we can say this is therapy or healing. It's a totally different thing. And for example, when I was in the medical training, psychedelic medical training last year in the United States with ketamine, honestly, I was observing how many people are taking ketamine without any therapy, just prescribing. It's highly addictive. Where is the border? It's about people. It's about health. It's about mental health. It's about people that they will lose their minds and they will be under. It's like we are helping people to heal their pain and trauma, not the opposite. We need to legalize, yes, but how we will do it, that needs to be the question. And I believe that we are in a rush. Look, for me, would be much more peaceful that in all planet is legal and I could work with my natural psychedelics everywhere, for me personally. But how many of us are really understanding what we are doing? How many of us we have the drive to really be there for people, no matter what? And it's not about me becoming the facilitator of psychedelics and receiving amounts of money. Where is the ground for all of this? And I think these questions, we need to do it because the ancient traditions, they were grounded in their traditions, in their communities. People would not be alone in that. Even if they have a psychotic moment, they would not be alone. And that would be perceived as a door for more expansion. So the question is, how are we holding our people that we have in our genes and memories, all these memories of our ancestors? Yes, but we don't live in that society anymore. So how can we create a space that even festivals is better than just the street? in festivals. There are grounds for people to go there. They know that they go there. They find support. Now we have healing places in festivals so we can support.
Healing tents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hospitals even. At Boom Festival, for example, in Portugal, we have the healing area and we have a true hospital there.
Oh, okay. Wow.
With psychiatrists that
Smart.
they are working with psychedelics, but they are not doctors.
That's so smart.
We need it.
Because people are going to be on psychedelics at a concert, and you should have people there that can talk that
Or
idea.
to support
Not
them.
that's so
Or if they go through a true hard time, take care. And what we are doing with...
Because there's a lot of physical discomfort that comes
and tears and traumatizing again. So the question is, how we in this society, where can you really do that? Because most of people, even with the information out there, look, we see about everything. Sometimes when we are highly traumatized, we are addicted to more. We want more intensity. It is a sign of trauma too. And we are saying it's okay.
Okay, so this fall, we will begin ticketed events that are designed to inspire awe, because there is research that shows that people have lost their ability to connect with awe, to their ability to believe that something bigger than themselves. They don't believe that those bigger things, so they were looking more inward and that we're separating ourselves from our neighbors, right? And so the reason they're consumption events, because I can gift you, it'll be right now 4 250 milligram capsules of psilocybin that you can take 1 or 4, but no more than that. And it's because we're obsessed with drugs. I'm inviting you to take drugs because you can experience all by going on a walk in nature and completely change your life and learn how to connect with nature around you and your neighbor and everybody. But it's just as you said, we are a traumatized nation and we want everything to be bigger and more explosive. And so you got to get them through inviting them to do drugs. And I feel like you can use this for good too, right? But it has to be done in a very intentional way.
If we look back to the ones that they were the keepers of these medicines, the traditions, they would never invite like every day. No, there was a purpose. If for the healing time is for merit, there was moments that they needed to be integrated then in their lives, the experience. And I want to say something. I believe that we should start speaking about death because we are afraid to die. That is one of the biggest fears. So we don't educate people about death. If we start relating with death, that we have an amount of time here, I believe that most of us will start to think about what is the quality of my life that I want to have to experience this certain amount of time. And questions like existential questions, do I really die? Am I only a body? Or am I something more that will exist eternally? What is eternally? What is the universe? Existential questions that bring us the depth of our existence. We are living in a society that is consuming, meeting more people, having more homes, cars, but the quality, like this conversation, quality. I want to meet you. I want to meet you here in this conversation. I don't want to have a podcast just to say something. No, I want to have a true talk that you move me because I met you in this moment. I want to, to feel, even if I feel didn't move me anything, okay, but I can acknowledge this, not just going through life without experiencing, feeling it. So when we start to help people to have existential questions, what we are doing is slowing down. There's a big trauma that is a spiritual trauma, that is a hunger for more. More of what? And that's why we need more drugs, more alcohol, more food, more TV, more clothes, more relations.
I think that as we've lost community, church, right? But it
lot
was
of good
community. And I didn't grow up with, this is not me preaching. I did not grow up this way, but When you go somewhere on a Wednesday night and a Sunday morning and a Sunday night, and people are asking, is everything okay? And on you, there's someone standing up giving a message of positivity. Like, I feel like if we looked at spirit,
Yes.
community, drug addiction, like it's so obvious what's happening.
That touched the wound of
Yes.
not belonging, a child, but to belong to my family, to belong to my community. I need to pretend that I'm someone else, to stay in this attachment. All the alcohol, all the drugs, it at the end is, why are you taking this? What are you finding here? What do you still need? And this is a search for me. People are searching to become themselves again. I need to feel relaxed. I need to feel strong. They are trying to come back home to their true self and they don't know how to do it. So all these substances, they are trying to fulfill the wound, the pain that they have for a long time. But this way of fulfilling is not fulfilling. They are crying. But because they are not aware of it, they can't really do the path that will really transform that pain into who they truly are. Because the pain is shouting, pay attention to me. I'm in pain. Who is in pain? What is in pain? In my heart is I didn't receive any love. I was neglected. They humiliated me. It's not because they were bad people, because they were traumatized. A person that heals, that grows into consciousness, will not harm other people. They know how much it is to be in pain. They know how it is to really work on themselves and to grow and to come out of that. They will not. People that they go into healing, true healing, they will become facilitators. They will become the hand, not the preachers, how they should be. No, they will be the holders because they know how is it. When we are saying community, we are broken in the relation and we will heal in the relation. But the communities need to heal the relation from the community to the individual, because community, they are lost into power games. This is our way of living and nobody can come out of these standards. Can I be my true essence and accepted in my community? Can the community survive if I am the individual? Yeah. This is a healing or to rise in consciousness, that there's always a balance between my true essence, my self-respect, and respecting the agreements that we do to grow together, to live together.
Right. I think that's a really important point and one I very much appreciate, because I'm not a joiner. I don't like clubs and that kind of thing. We're talking about building community where people are coming together in healing circles, and I'm facilitating that in the literal sense of the term. This is interesting. I appreciate what you said about making sure that people feel like they can still be themselves, because that is what's always very enlightening when you get in groups of people. That can get lost. So I've taken up so much of your time. We're an hour and a half in and we had scheduled an hour. I would like for you to wrap up by just sharing how people can find you, what a first step might be to learn more about your work.
How they can find me at Working with Satya website.
Yes.
That is workingwithsatya.com, our Instagram. And if we feel that we can help you, we will help you in the way that we all agree. Or if we feel that we don't have the right resource for you, we will do our best to help you to find the right resource. At Working with Satya, look, our aim is to raise consciousness and to help people. So we will be there for you no matter what. And we will try to find with you your best safe space for you to develop yourself, to dive into healing and to rise your consciousness. And I want to tell you, find where you feel respect. This is the most important thing.
Thank you for ending. Appreciate it. Thank you. Have a nice evening.
Thanks so much.
And Anna, super generous in sharing your work with me and inviting me to come to a retreat. And unfortunately, this year it's just not working with my schedule. But I look forward to meeting you in person very soon.
I would love to meet you and to know much more about your work.
And to experience this, what 60 people have experienced. Yeah.
I hope to see you soon.
Are you going to be at the MAPS conference in Denver? I think I asked Anna. She said
I
that.
can't. I'm working, and I'm still coming out of being very low profile, no internet, because for me it was being on the healing space all the time. And with COVID, I had to change a little bit. It has been a very interesting journey for me, because I would not be the one speaking out there. I'm very happy that I had this movement inside of me. I'm growing too, as a person.
Who's healing the healers is something I wrote down, right? So yeah, I hope part of my work is helping to talk to people like you so that you don't have to do things like this.
Right? We really need to keep on doing our healing path without even questioning, because mind is very tricky, and our ego too. So for healers or for doctors, and we see in the medical system that they don't have any support to really work on themselves. So we need to keep on doing our practice and to go to other people that they can give us feedback. I don't believe in healers that they don't work in themselves. Even if they call themselves gurus, I never saw one till now that they don't need true feedback. This is my opinion.
Yes.
Maybe it's a little bit tough, but it's what I really believe.
Thank
you. Thank you so much for having me.
Bye, Satya. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Bye.
And if you're ready to dive deeper into psychedelic integration, be sure to check out the show notes to link to SetSet's Universal Integration DIY program, a clinician-backed resource available in PDF and with an audio companion that covers candidate criteria, dosing, methods of administration, contraindications, science, history, and more. The SetSet website has this resource available for purchase and download, as well as DIY guides for psilocybin, ketamine, and microdosing. Thank you for joining me for today's episode. I'm your host, April Pride. If you liked what you heard, please rate and review SetSet wherever you listen. It really does help more people find our show.